because from 1871 on, Prussian officers used to live here because they were appointed to include the Saxon army into the army of the newly founded German Empire. And they wanted to live close to this military district, close to their soldiers, but under much better circumstances. And so all these villas and mansions were constructed here from 1871 on. Today this is also a much loved residential area. You can see beautiful houses, lots of green. It's close to the wood, to the Heath of Dresden, also close to the Elbe. And it's also close to the outer New Town, a very interesting neighborhood with many shops and restaurants and cafes. And there we also have the most beautiful dairy shop in the world, named Pfunds Molkerei. It was opened in 1892, and it's decorated with almost 250 square meters of beautifully painted tiles, all produced in the famous porcelain factory Villeroy and Boch. And this shop once belonged to a big company called Pfunds Molkerei, which was founded by Paul Pfund in 1880. This entrepreneur had come to Dresden, and he had noticed that the milk which was sold here was not always fresh. And so he rented a shop in the outer New Town and had his 6 cows displayed there, and his customers were able to choose which cow they wanted to buy milk from. This concept became a huge success, and Paul Pfund was able to build a big company. But today we only have this one shop left, which was declared the most beautiful dairy shop in the world by the Guinness Book of World Records in 1997. And you can see this is really a magnet for tourists because we have lots of buses who try to stop here. We just want to pass by the shop. You probably can catch a glimpse of the interior while we're driving by. You can see it's really hard to find parking space here. If you look to the right very closely, you can see some other souvenir shops here. But now we have probably a chance to catch a glimpse of the actual. Here on the right hand side you can see Pfunds Molkerei. Thank you, Mirko. Driving slowly. And now we are on the outer New Town. And you can see lots of old buildings here which have survived the war here. But upcoming on our right hand side we also have a house which still looks like all the buildings around here looked like about 30 years ago. So these buildings had gotten really dilapidated during the communist era, and there were even plans to demolish them all and to replace them by these modern shoebox-like houses. But fortunately this didn't happen. Because the German reunification came in 1990, and so most of the buildings were salvaged by investors who started to refurbish them. Today almost everything here has been reconstructed by now, and this is a very much loved residential area again. But even before 1990, when everything still was in a horrible state here, many young people moved here, especially artists and students, and they kind of created a subculture here which was able to endure the German reunification as well as the reconstruction of this neighborhood. So this is still a very lively district with many pubs and bars and beautiful restaurants and cafes with interesting little shops and galleries with sometimes very special offers, and also with lots of some theaters and cinemas and many clubs. So this is kind of the Bermuda Triangle of Dresden. You can actually get lost here, especially at night. When this area here was built up for the very first time, it was called the Annex on the Seine because it was a little suburb built on really sandy soil here around 1800. But then in 1835 it was named after the Saxon King Anton and incorporated